Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Ian Benolio, and today we're going to do a webinar on the most recent updates of the iOS mobile app. In this case, we've added two new features, being what's already in the app itself, the ability to create a bin move, and also download your counts and work on your counts within the app. So I'm going to be changing to back and forth between my phone and the app. We're going to start off with the bin move. Okay, so I'm just bear with me while I do this little thing here. Okay, so here we are. So you can see here we got the bin move and we got the count new settings. Okay, so I'm just going to click on bin move, but before that we're going to go just to the settings and just take a look at a couple of things here, and I'm going to press on the user settings. So there's a couple of important things that we want to understand here, and more specifically the recognize scan. As you can see, I have something called the full name, and order time is name or number, but I can also scan just the name. And the difference between the full name and the name is that the parent-child, like if you have QuickBooks, parent-child, the UPC or the NPN, the GS1 is something that we're working on. But the so it's very important that this setting over here, that you have the actual data in the item. So for example, if you have UPC, you have to make sure that the item that you're scanning has a UPC, okay? But I'm going to go to full name. Now, the other thing that I have is called pick after scan. And this basically is after I scan, what should the device do? Should it, and this is like in the case for, scanning a count or something like that. Should it just scan everything, whatever's in the count, put it in, or just increment by one, or allow you just to enter a manual? I'm going to just set it at manual for now. Okay. The other thing in the count preferences is that you can prevent a user from actually looking at the quantities on the count, and that you do in the rules. Okay, in the rules. So that's just regular rules. If you don't want someone to look at the current quantity, you can turn that off in the rules. So we're going to go and we're going to do a bin move. So after a few seconds, the first scan is going to be the from bin. All right, so I have some scans here, that printouts from order time labeling. So I'm going to scan the bin, and as you can see, the first bin was scanned, and then I want to transfer it to another bin called H7. Okay, and the item that I want to transfer is now that I have that, I can now enter a quantity of how much I want to move. So let's say I want to move 5. So right away, it did that bin move. And then if I go to the list, I see my pending bin moves right there. Okay, I see my pending bin moves. So I can just continue to scan, let's say, another item. So we'll do again from floor. And then again to H7. This time I don't know the item name, so I'm just going to type it in. I don't have a barcode, so I'm just going to type it in. Okay, so that's done. I can see that I have 5,860. I'm going to move 10 of them. All right, so it did it. Now I have 2 bin moves that I'm going to do. To upload it, on the top right, there's a little icon to upload it. So we upload that, and it tells us that adjustment number 76 was created. So now I'm gonna stop presenting here, and I'm gonna switch back to the web page. Just bear with me. Here is the bin move. Okay, so in a bin move, we create an adjustment, and internally what we're doing here is we're doing the bin move. So we're taking 5 out of floor and adding it to H7, and the same thing that we did exactly the same thing for this other item 111, and that's what that. So that's a bin move. Okay. All right. Now the other thing that we want to talk about is using the count screen as well, being able to manage your count. So that's something new. You want to be able to so here's the count that I created. All right. So basically from the count screen, you create a new count and you have the count. Now you can enter it manually over here, but obviously it would be a lot easier to scan it. So I have a lot of like over 1,000 items on this count. I'm going to filter it down to only scan certain bins. All right. And just for ease of use, I'm going to just filter the count so we can take a look at 2 particular items. Again, our 111 and another item called hard drive, which has serial numbers. Okay. All right, so there it is. And we'll just expand that number of pages a little bit so we can see a little bit better. Right, so there are few pages of these 2 items. Okay. And I want to count it. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to share my screen again. Okay, and we're back to here. So I click on count.
Switches
on the
and
top
stuff.
here, there's the scan, the count number. So I just enter the count number. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, I can filter by groups, but I'm going to filter by bins. So I'm just going to kind of take down a few bins. I don't want to take down everything. Okay, so I selected my bins there. I'll do that one too. And then I click this little download here. So the counts have been successfully downloaded. Okay, and we'll see that. Then we go to the list and we see all the count screens right there. Yeah, there it is. All right. Now from here, I can do some filters. Okay, and do some filters. So for example, if I want to just see 111, the item called 111, I would type it in and press search, and then it would kind of give me that type of thing. I can also filter by bin. So for example, if I want to search just for the ones that have C1 on it, so that's the same thing. There it is. Okay. Finally, I can also see which ones have already been counted. All right. There's obviously none of them have been counted yet, and which ones are blank. You can see the ones that are counted by virtue of the fact that they're not counted. All right. So let's go to the scan. Now from the list, I can also click on one of the items and get to the action just to look at it. All right. And I can, just like normal, I can swipe through left, right, left, right. All right. I'm just scanning through the items. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and scan my first item, and we're going to do again 111. Right. It found the item. And now 111 is in C1. So I'm just going to put that in. All right. And it found that it had 263. All right. Now I'm going to type in, I can scan, I'm going to type in 260. All right. So that's the item. And as you can see here, we're going to go back to here and we can see that that's going to be counted now, one of those. Switch back to item. Okay. So you can see that that is now counted. So, all right. So you can see that. Now, if I want to correct the count, I can swipe from the right, or sorry, from the left, and it'll clear out the count. Okay. So if I make a mistake, I can do that as well. So back to our scan here. Scan the item. Bin. Okay. I'll type in 260 and go. All right. So now that's counted again. We'll do another scan. This time it's going to be hard drive. And oops. We know that it's in counting A1P. And the reason I'm getting that error is because I'm not moving the scan gun away fast enough. All right, so now it found that item, and I counted one of them. All right. So after I'm completed with the count, again, I could clear the count, like I can just erase everything by little sweeping there, and that sweeps, that basically brings back, basically ignores everything. I could write like that and just take away one of the items. Just doesn't remove it from the count. It just removes it from here. By the way, as I'm counting on the count in the app itself, I can't do anything on the count for the line items that I'm counting. Okay. Another person can, let's say, scan out another line item. All right. All right. So when I'm done, I upload the count, and the collection of count items were uploaded successfully. Okay. All right. So that count now gets flushed out. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and switch back to order time. Okay. You can see here that item is counted. And there's the other one that we counted. Okay. That's it. That's basically how to use the mobile device to either do a bin move or to download and to count items on with the scanning. So I'm open for questions.
And you were able to do the lot and serial number with that one that was counted?
Yep, this one right here. There it is.
Okay.
So I first scanned the item, then the bin, then the serial number, and I put in the quantity. That was it.
Yeah, Tim, you raised your hand.
Mm-hmm. I just want to play kind of devil's advocate here. So I have a question because I'm not familiar enough. It is, in order time, is there a routing feature within the warehouse for picking?
Yes and no. You can do it that way through alphanumeric sorting. In other words, if your bin names are sorted alphanumeric, then we could do
just sort the list by.
Right. We can do the pick path by bin first. So scan first would be bin first in terms of the customization.
The reason I ask is that,
if you do this, if you start scanning with bin, then it'll
because like especially when you do transfers, I mean, I mean, sitting here, this is easy to understand. I'm going from bin A to bin B, and scan, boom, 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 done. The reality of it in the warehouse is I'm scanning a bin in the northwest corner, and I'm transferring it to a bin in the southeast corner. And there's a time delay between those. And especially if you have multiple transfers that you're doing at the same time, the person's walking all over the warehouse trying to complete, transfers. Versus if you have the routing, then you can suspend some of the transfers until you get to those areas. That's kind of why I'm bringing that up. The counting is fine, but again, would be enhanced with, selected routing of the picks as the worker goes through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's something that definitely once we want to add like a you know, like a pick path or something like a, you know, sequence number to the bins so they can kind of go through and order it properly, as opposed to having to, you know, figure out the bin names. But yeah, I agree with you there.
Okay, that's all I had.
Thank you.
And in the email that I'm going to send out after this, I'll have the recording, and I'll also have some helpful documents from our knowledge base. We just created a new video for actually doing the bin move from start to finish, and we have videos for receiving a purchase order, doing the packing with your ship docs, picking and doing the pick list with sales orders, and how to activate the app in order time and get it downloaded to your mobile iOS device, whether it's an Apple iPad or an iPhone. And we had several questions about the Android, and Android's in rapid development right now. Its current features include, you know, picking and sales orders and receiving a purchase order. And we're going to be adding to that, obviously. It's going to be a mimic of the iPhone one. Any further questions?
Do you have that on the roadmap? Do you know when that might be done?
Still with the Android?
Yes.
Yeah.
The Android, probably in a couple of months, we'll know a little bit more. But yeah, a couple of months.
Yeah, just to specify or clarify on that. So basically, it's Mike. I'm with Abud and on this call. So basically, what it is that when we, for example, when we have our PO that we generate with order time, and then we place it with our supplier, the stock is then received from us on our invoices or our POs that we place with our supplier. There's a barcode on there, which then I'm assuming that basically links to the PO number that we have in our system. When we receive that stock or comes in, is there a way to, with the mobile device, to kind of scan it, to open that up, to receive the specific items to show whether or not it's received or back ordered? Or is it just, like I had mentioned, is it just something that we have to do physically, each one go in and enter it into order time?
When you scan a PO, right, you go and each item gets scanned separately.
Right.
Now, you could, for example, speed it up by doing that preference that I showed you. So I can do that again if I go that.
Is that a preference within the app?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay, I see your iPhone screen.
Okay, so we're going to go back into order time here. It's not the best PO, but I'll download it. So this is the PO. There's only one item with 30 units that have to be received. Okay. Now, what I could do is I could go to here and my user preferences and say, just scan the whole thing. Right. I don't really care about scanning each thing, but I just want to scan. Sorry, I just want to scan the actual number. So if I just go ahead and do that. Oh, good.
It's 112.
Oh yeah. And then I scan the bin. Let's say I'll scan C-1. It automatically picks up the 30 that was on the PO. You see? So I don't have to scan continuously, whatever's on the PO, right. It automatically scans. So that's a kind of a better shortcut. At least it kind of forces you to scan the item. Mm-hmm. Like I did right there and got that error. It was the wrong item. You know what I mean? So now I can upload it and it creates my receiver and it's done.
There we go.
Okay. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's perfect because then at least that way, if the guys in the warehouse and stuff, if they're receiving, it forces them also to
Just
be able to scan and to count each thing. I just wanted to see if there's a way, like, you know, if the
So
receiver,
pick
yeah.
all right there, that like that.
Yeah.
There. I'm sorry, I couldn't see where the unmute button was.
No problem.
You're showing your screen there is using the Apple interface. What if we're using like a symbol? Are these user settings readily available on the menus within Windows?
The other device, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But they're in the and let me stop sharing
But
this one. They're in the app itself.
Okay.
So it's not in here. Let me share.
It's going to be in the Windows Mobile 6.5 app.
Well, it's actually going to be. Let me stop sharing. It's actually going to be in the company preferences.
Okay.
You're going to come into here
on the desktop then, right?
On the desktop here it all is.
Good. Okay, that's what I was curious about.
Yeah.
So what you're really defined then was a shortcut to allow the users to just put in a PO number, and then it would prompt them to receive lines, but you'd just need to scan in an item number, and it would assume it's fully received then.
Correct.
Without any, and then you'd have to, of course, put where you're putting it away to.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly. And that, again, that's it's actually in preferences, and it's in here. That's what you want.
Okay. Really tiny on my screen, so
well, basically, he's in the company preferences. He went to lot and serial number. It's one of the tabs in there called Getting Available.
Yeah, it's actually in there.
I see. Okay.
It's actually in there. Okay.
And the selection's called the total available quantity. That's what he's got selected there on the right.
Total available quantity. Okay.
And the recording
I'm sorry, not total available. Total. Yeah, no. Total. You want either all or quantity ordered.
Oh yeah, that's the one actually. The quantity ordered. If no quantity ordered, then the total available quantity. Right. So it's the either or.
Either or actually. Either or will work for that, for the receiving. But for the shipping, you may want that one. So you might want to just leave it on that one.
And I know the screen might appear a little bit small because you're in the tiled view, but the recording of this webinar will be in a higher resolution.
Oh, very good.
So I'll make sure you guys got that.
Okay, Michael, thank you.
All right. I think that wraps it up, Ian.
All righty. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. Everybody have a great, safe day. Thank you.
Thank you for attending. Have a good one. Bye-bye.